Professor Lewis, what we've seen with the emergence of the communications revolution in Arab countries are a lot of brave attempts, one might call them, to criticize regimes on television, yes. In newspapers, and on the internet. Why is that happening now, and what's the prospect for that type of opposition? Is that Muslim Brother opposition? Can one argue that there are democracy and freedom oppositionaires as well?
Yeah. The communications revolution has had a tremendous impact. In the past, the Muslim world was, on the whole, I would say, rather better situated than the Western world regarding communication. Even in the pre-modern era, the annual pilgrimage, which brought Muslims together from all over the Muslim world, gave them a feeling of common identity and common awareness without parallel in the Western world until comparatively modern times. The mosque, the minaret, the preacher gave them a medium of communication free from censorship, and again with a wide impact without parallel in the pre-modern Western world. With the advent of modern communications, all that has changed. Now they have even more than that on a much vaster scale. Radio, television, internet, and the rest of it now operating on a vast scale all over the Islamic world, including, and this is the part that I find both interesting and encouraging, including Iran. And there is growing evidence that a large part, probably the majority of the population in Iran, are thoroughly fed up with the regime that rules them. This appears in a number of ways, partly through websites, through communication directly by telephone, and in other ways. It's well expressed in what is probably the most reliable indicator of political trends in the Middle East, generally in autocratic regimes, the political joke. Let me give you a couple of examples from Iran. Two Iranians are discussing how dreadful the situation is in their country. This is bad, that's worse, this is terrible, that's awful. And finally one says to the other, what we need in this country is to bring Osama bin Laden here. And the other one turns to him in horror and said, what, are you crazy? And the first one said, no, then the Americans would come. Now that is an authentic Iranian joke communicated from Iran. It tells you something. Another one, at the time when President Bush launched his attack on Iraq, a lot of people telephoned from Iran to say, you should have tackled your problems in alphabetical order.